Hey guys, Joe here with Dave from Pharmaca, and we're at ECRM's Hemp and CBD Health and Beauty Care session in Chicago. So Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Right. Now Dave was on the panel discussion yesterday and run by Chain Drug Review, and he had an interesting quote that I think sums up our situation here at Mass Retail. And that was, everybody is racing to the starting line, but they haven't crossed it yet. So tell us, what did you mean by that?
Sure. In talking to other retailers and seeing what's happening in the industry, there's a lot of buzz and a lot of excitement about this category and CBD being the category and what can we do around that. There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of speculation about what you can and can't do as a retailer, especially a retailer that has a pharmacy. With recent developments with the Farm Bill that was signed into law in December, there's a lot of people now sitting there wondering, okay, now that that's happened, what can we do? And the FDA since has come out with some statements post-Farm Bill that says, according to the FDA guidelines, it's still not legal for CBD-based dietary supplements, food items, cosmetic items to be sold. So a lot of retailers are in the position that we are in Pharmaca and saying, we've got a demand for it, we know our customers are asking for it, our customers want it, what can we do? So I think a lot of retailers like us are positioning themselves to be ready as quick as possible when you're comfortable that you've vetted out all the risks and understand where all the opportunities are and what some of the hurdles may be. So I think in Pharmaca's case and many other retailers, everyone is developing their strategy. How am I going to present the product? What am I going to carry? Where am I going to carry it? Are there security issues? Are there training issues? Are there education issues? Getting all those things buttoned up so you're ready to go once you and your company decide that, okay, we're comfortable, we understand what all the legal positioning statements are, what we want to do as a company, getting yourselves ready to that point, and then when you say, all right, we're ready to go, you've done everything, you flip the switch, and you can go as quick as you can. So when I say everyone's kind of racing to the starting line, yep, everyone's kind of scrambling right now to say, all right, what do we want to do? Let's get ready as soon as we can, so when we flip the switch, we're ready to go. We're not starting from scratch.
Gotcha. And some people may jump into it realizing there still might be some risks.
Sure.
Correct.
And I'm seeing that kind of, there's a wide spectrum out there right now, and some people are taking on that risk, saying, I think I know what the FDA outcome's going to be. We're going to be okay. We're going to go ahead and move forward with these brands or these items. And some are taking more of a wait-and-see conservative approach to kind of see where all that lays out. And we're kind of in the middle. So we've brought in a couple brands that are hemp-based products that don't have any CBD claims or labeling on them right now to kind of test the water. It's been very successful. But we're also really anxious to see what the FDA's comments and rulings and positioning is going to be, and hopefully that happens there real soon, and then we'll react very, very quickly once that comes out.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your stores, how many you have, what type of stores they are, and what type of products you've been putting on the shelves.
So Pharmaca, we're a 30-store chain based in Boulder, Colorado. Our stores are a little unique in that we have a regular full-service pharmacy. We're a mission-based health and wellness platform. So our whole belief is helping customers make better choices about their health care and helping them do that, health and well-being. So whether it's on the beauty side or supplement side or full-service pharmacy, our staff is really what makes us a little different. The staff that's in most of our stores are licensed practitioners or estheticians. So when you come in and you have a question about CBD, for example, or a supplement or a beauty product, you've got a licensed practitioner that you can talk to and help understand what fits your need very specifically. And that's where I think this whole category lends itself very well to us, because the general public doesn't really have an understanding of the CBD as a category. They know the term CBD, and they hear a lot of good things about it, but I think there's just a lot out there that don't really know what it means. So they'll come into the store and say, hey, I want to try CBD. I've heard all these great things about it. What can you tell me? And it's at that point where you've got to have an educated staff or pharmacist, if you don't have a staff like Pharmaca, that can really help talk the customer through. Here's what we're doing with CBD if and when we're in it, and here's what your options are.
Actually, you brought me to my next point. Was I was going to ask you, what are some of the things you're doing to prepare, right? You said everyone's racing right to it. So what are you doing as you're racing to the starting line? And I know education is an important part of it, so what other things?
So I've gotten my team together, both on the merchandising side and the operations side. And we've talked at length and at detail about what the current landscape is, so everyone's on the same page. We've gone through every one of our stores and mapped out where the category is going to be positioned in the store. We want it to be in a high-profile area. We want it to have ample space to be able to grow and expand on. We're taking security into consideration in some stores where it might be a security risk. Developing signage and educational materials to help wayfind the customer to this section. And then within the merchandising team and the category management team, it's developing a list of questions and strategy that we want everyone to kind of stay consistent with. And that, in Pharmaca's world, is vetting out products, ingredients, vendors that fit our model, and kind of our customer views us as the trusted resource to go to. So we're staying away from known harmful chemicals and ingredients that we would in any other brand. The same questions, the same methodology would apply to the new CBD products. So our category managers will be talking to our manufacturers about their ingredients, their sourcing, having transparency to their sourcing, some of the testing that may have been done to verify and validate what is actually in the products, making sure that they're not making any claims that are against the guidelines that have been set forth and so forth.
So what kind of hemp or CBD products do you have in your stores?
Sure. So we've started with 2 brands. We've got a full array of products from both of those brands, whether it's the tinctures, the capsules and pills, and some ointments as well. So we've started with 2 brands, full array of products from both those brands, and the early results have been phenomenal.
Great. And as far as merchandising, those are all under, are you keeping hemp or CBD related products all together, or let's say if you end up adding water, or will it go into another section?
It's a great question. It was one of the places that we started with our strategy, is how do we want to present it to the customer. And I believe, and our team believes, that because it's kind of a new phenomenon, that people are going to come in and they're going to be drawn to CBD as a concept. So our concept is to merchandise it all together in one planogram. And so we're creating that planogram now. We've assigned each of the category managers their space. So for example, we probably have 2 or 3 shelves of supplements, and 2 or 3 shelves of HABA, and 2 or 3 shelves of other products, maybe food products or those type of things, but it'll all be in one section. And then I think as the category matures and things develop, you may see that branch out back into the categories.
Kind of like organics. You know,
exactly
either have them together or both, or some sort of.
Or we may dual merchandise some of them for a while. We can't dual merchandise everything, but I think we're going to start with a base home for CBD, and then as things mature and things grow, it may migrate back into the basic categories.
So now the supplier will still have to deal with separate buyers or separate category managers, even though it's all merchandised together.
I think in most retailers that's going to be the case. From what I know from my 35 years of experience, that most retailers are going to be set up where it's 2 or 3 different category managers that the suppliers will have to call on. Some may choose to have one category manager that's the lead, but I suspect that most will be dealing with multiple category managers.
Gotcha. And what are you doing on the legal front? Have you been vetting all this with lawyers? How does that factor in?
So we've got our own legal advisory team that we kind of vet things through to kind of chart our course of action. So we're constantly kind of getting updates from them on here's where we would say are your risks, and here's what you're probably okay and safe to do. And I think just as important is staying on top of all the articles and updates that come out on a daily basis. So research is a big part of it. You know, going through your emails and the links to all the articles that are coming out and reading through them, getting the latest update from bills that are going through the Senate, when the FDA is going to talk about a certain topic or when they're going to come out and make a statement. So doing your research, staying abreast of current events, I think is really popular, because there's a lot of confusion even amongst the vendor community, because we'll talk to 40 vendors and I'll get 40 different points of view.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
I've seen that here. One thing you reminded me of is I've done some observations, meetings with retailers just for learning, and in the discussions, particularly with the larger mass retail chains who are taking more of a fast follower kind of view. There are different things that come up in those meetings where some of these suppliers are not used to working with distributors or working with brokers, and now they're going to have to, so they're going to have to adapt a little bit.
yeah, it's I think the past till now, it's been a different probably audience that they're presenting to. I think they're going to find it'll be a whole different set of questions, and more importantly, different education need.
Yes.
In going to a mainstream retailer that's just learning about the category, getting into it, versus going to a dispensary or something like that who are experts already and can probably tell the vendor more than they know.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be flipped the other way. I think I said last night that a lot of the analogy I had was if you're a category manager for shampoo or oral hygiene and you have a new toothpaste brand that comes out or a new shampoo brand that comes out, you know the category, you know what to ask, you know kind of how to lead that. When it's something like this that's brand new to everyone in the company, you're kind of developing your own set of questions, and everyone's got them to start, and you're going to have to learn a lot to ask the right questions. So.
Great. So your recommendation, both to buyers, since you already have experience now, both to buyers and to suppliers in this category.
So my recommendation, and what I've told my team to do, is make sure that you understand who the vendor is, where their products are coming from. Do they have transparency in supply chain? Are they? Do they seem like they've got really good educational materials and have thought through their plan to go to retail? And those are the partners that we'll probably launch with first. There's going to be so many vendors out there. There's going to be so many different product categories out there that you're going to have to make some decisions on what categories you want to be in, how deep you want to be in those categories. So I think it's really important for you to, as a team, to understand and be consistent across different category managers, taking the same approach and asking the same questions. Probably staying away from answers that are vague or ambiguous, or if somebody doesn't really know the supply chain or doesn't have a good grasp yet on how they're going to help educate people about their products, probably kind of hold the weight on most of them.
Gotcha. And your recommendation to vendors that are dealing with retailers, outside of dispensaries and specialties, of retailers like yourself, what should they do to prepare for those meetings?
Yeah, I think the meetings we had so far today have been a learning experience for me as well, because we're all learning. I mean, everyone's learning and going through this. I think it's really beneficial going into meetings from the vendor's point of view if you have already thought through, all right, how am I going to help educate the stores? And how am I going to help this retailer pass that education through, not only to the buying team, but to the customers coming through the door? Have I made that what I call digestible, where you can pass it along from your category management team to the consumer, and it has the right amount of information, but it doesn't overwhelm them?
Gotcha.
I think that's one really important piece. I think the next thing that is helpful if suppliers can provide a little bit of their background. So where are the crops being grown? How are they vetting through that? How are they ensuring quality control? Because quality control, I think, is going to be another really important aspect of this as time goes on. So what are they doing to ensure that the quality of the crops is where it should be? The final output of those that gets ultimately into the products is what the labels say.
Yeah.
And a lot of the vendors we met with today have done a nice job of kind of showing through the third-party audits and results and testing and things that they've done, It's really important.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. Like you mentioned, it is a learning experience. It is certainly for me too. So I appreciate your helping us educate our audience.
So happy to do it. It's great.
All right. Thank
Thanks.
you. Okay.
Thanks.